Welcome back, everybody, to another Random Richie ranking where I'm going to rank every single Superman film. Well, every single Superman theatrical film. So these are Superman movies that came out in theaters. I'm going to rank them all for you. So, hope you like the list. But first off, I'm going to give a shout out to my OG Superman, my father. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not sure if he wants his full legal name, but my dad's always been my Superman, and I want to thank him for raising me to be the man I am today. So anyway, this one goes out to you, Dad. Ranking every Superman movie. Let's hit it. Starting off with some honorable mentions for Superman movies that these were not theatrical films, but they are incredible films that I think every Superman fan should see at least once in their life. And that is The Death of Superman and Superman versus the Elite. These are two of my favorite animated Superman films. I'm going to rank these later down the road. But overall, I just think these are incredible and definitely should not go unnoticed. So, without further ado, let's get ranking some movies. Kicking it off with number 12 on the list, and that is Superman versus the Mole Men. Now, this was more of a pilot for a TV show, so there's not really a whole lot here. I like it, but I don't like it that much. It's honestly very forgettable, and I think most people do forget about its existence. So anyway, number 12, not a whole lot to say about it. Superman versus the Mole Men. So at number 11, we have Superman 3. I don't really like this movie a whole lot. It's there. There are a few moments in it that I do like, but overall, I find it very disappointing every time I watch it, and it's kind of you know. Anyway, moving on. Coming in at number 10 is the first Justice League film. This is that one, not Zack Snyder's Justice League, the one before that where Superman had that really ugly CGI mouth. It was just a whole mess, and honestly, a complete tonal shift from the movie before, which didn't really fit the entire vibe that, it should have been with Zack Snyder's Justice League, which will be later on this list. Overall, it's a bit of a mess. It does have its moments. There are some pretty neat fight scenes and some pretty cool things in here, but overall, it was relatively a disappointing film. And though I do like bits of it, there is definitely that better version that is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Coming in at number 9, we have Batman Superman Dawn of Justice, and this movie is a mess. There's just too much going on here. Everything's super complicated. They try and make both the heroes look like they're terrible people. I don't know. I don't really like this movie a whole lot, especially for me as a Superman fan. It does a lot to tarnish a lot the things that Superman stands for and some of his characters. I know they try to bring it back and be like, oh yeah, he was good, but they still try and paint him as a villain for a good chunk of it. And I know that was messed up with morality and stuff. It's just very confusing, and I didn't really like Superman's portrayal in this one. I think Cavill did a better job in Man of Steel than he did here. The writing's just all over the place, and besides a few pretty neat action sequences and some fun moments here and there, overall there was a lot of potential wasted in this film, and I hate to see potential go to waste. So, number 9, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Now, number 8 is my most controversial take, and here's the thing. Superman 4 is a trash movie, and I give it that. It is a garbage movie, but it is a garbage movie that I do actually like watching. I really enjoy this film. It is bad. There's no going around it. It's bad, but it's so bad it's really fun to watch for me, and I love it. I know I shouldn't have it higher than the others, but I just like it more than those ones. This, like I said, this is gonna be my most controversial one because yes, the movie is terrible, but it is a terrible I like to see. If that makes any sense, I know it's probably confusing. Anyway, it's fun. That's the reason I watch it. It's fun. It's fun to make fun of. It's fun to watch. I enjoy it. It's very enjoyable. It is not a movie to take seriously, and I think that's just why I like it so much. I don't know. And I like to see the old cast back, which is something Superman 3 didn't have. So there's that. Overall, it's a garbage movie that I like, and that's why it is at number 8 on the list. After this one, every movie coming up next is amazing, and I love all the ones coming after this. But last bad movie, kind of so bad it's good for me, maybe not for you. I know that I'm probably gonna get some backlash for this one, but Superman 4. It's fun. I like it. I know I shouldn't, but I do. At number 7, we have Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is one of those movies that I know a lot of people dislike, but this one actually is pretty popular. It is honestly a really good movie. This is what they should have went with first instead of releasing that other Justice League movie. I don't know why they didn't go with this one first. And only this one, but it is pretty great and a huge jump ahead from Batman v Superman. I feel like the writing was a lot better mainly because well, they got 4 hours to flesh out the story, so you actually get the story. There are a few moments in here that were kind of useless, and you could cut them out. Like for instance, you could cut out everything to do with Martian Manhunter. If you cut him out, the story doesn't change. Nothing changes. In fact, it improves because it doesn't take the emotion away from the part where Martha Kent talks to Lois. Like, why did they didn't need that. You could have had anybody else turn into Martian Manhunter. Instead, you just decided to ruin a perfectly fine scene, and that was very emotional. So I'm not really sure what that was all about. It leaves a big plot hole, and like I said, Martian Manhunter did not need to be here. But overall, a incredible superhero film, no doubt, and I feel like it fixes a lot of the flaws that Superman Batman had. Coming in at number 6, I am cheating here a little bit. Technically, these are shorts and mini movies, but the Max Fleischer theatrical shorts, they are super entertaining, a great piece of Superman media for any Superman fan to watch, and even if you're not, they are still gorgeous animation. It's moving art. A big flaw with them is there are a few episodes, I think 3 or 4, that do have racial stereotypes, which I don't really appreciate. They are a product of their time, though. But overall, a good chunk of them are very enjoyable. The animation is unbeatable. It's the smoothest animation I've ever seen, and it's from the freaking 40s. So the fact that we don't have that in certain things is just a little sad because we do have better technology. But I mean, they said they can't replicate it. I've seen the documentary on it. They said it's very tough to replicate. Overall, they're very fun little 10-minute shorts, and I really love them. And I think they embody Superman perfectly from the comics to the screen. They mainly focus on him finding out what the problem is, and then some action. They're fun little short stories. They're basically motion comics, and that's why I like them so much. Anyway, Max Fleischer shorts coming in at number 6. Moving into our top 5, these are the best of the best Superman films. At number 5, we have Superman Returns. Now, this movie is a very, 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 very flawed film. So, if they would have continued, they probably would have made a worse movie, more likely than a better one. But there is still a lot that is very commendable about this. It's very good. I like Superman's portrayal. I like the sequences where he's putting everything together, where he's helping out. I would have liked to see a fight scene in this one with a big villain. That is because, at this point, we have seen Lex Luthor over and over and over again. And of course, if this one does discard Superman 4, but we did get, I guess, that Superman 4 fight with Nuclear Man. I would have liked to see Superman have a similar fight like that where he went up against a bigger villain like Metallo, Bizarro, one of those ones that haven't made it into a theatrical film yet. I would have loved that. They sadly didn't have it here. It was very lacking in that part. There was a ton of potential that was missed, but overall, a very enjoyable experience. Like I said, besides a few flaws, I really enjoy this movie. Plus, it has that amazing scene where he's just walking towards that gun that's like unloading bullets on him. I love that scene. One of my favorite Superman moments of all time. So anyway, number 5, Superman Returns. At number 4, we have The Man of Steel. Now, this one is a great Superman movie. I don't know why it got so much backlash. The second I saw it, of course, I was young when I first saw this movie, but the second I saw it, I loved it. I loved this entire movie. It is basically a remake of Superman 2, so if you wanted to see what Superman 2 would look like in the modern era, this is probably what you would get right here. Like I said, I love this movie. I don't know why it got so much backlash. Of course, besides the buildings falling and stuff and a few writing flaws here and there, but this movie brought back the truck stop bully of all characters. I thought that would get a reimagined, brought into the modern era. I did not expect truck stop bully to be here. So, love that. But anyway, like I said, I love this film. It is one that got a bunch of backlash. It does have a very goofy death for Jonathan Kent. I'm sorry, it was dumb. But the fight scenes and the story is still great all in all. And you cannot forget about that amazing Zod performance that we got in this movie. Overall, like I said, I love it. It's just, it is lacking a bit, which is why it is not closer to number 1. So, coming in at number 3 is Superman 2025. I loved this film. I loved it. It is my favorite interpretation of Superman besides Christopher Reeve. David Cornsweet did an incredible job. The movie's super entertaining, super fun. There's tons of action sequences. I loved some of the emotional moments. I loved the different twists on the classic Superman story. All in all, I would say a perfect Superman film. Not a perfect film, but for Superman, a perfect Superman film. The film overall, I gave it in my review, a 8 out of 10. It does have a few pacing flaws, but overall, incredibly fun. I love it. It's it's amazing, and I cannot wait to see more Superman films like this going on in the future if we get any. I hope we do. Swooping in at number 2, my old favorite Superman movie, Superman 2. I know this one's going to get some backlash for being this high on the list, but it honestly was my favorite Superman movie for the longest time. After rewatching them and realizing the main reason I held this one at such a high standard was a big nostalgia factor, I still find it very fun. I love seeing Christopher Reeve. I love the action sequences, even though they are a bit dated. I find it incredibly fun. I do prefer the original version over the Donner cut for a few reasons. The biggest reason I prefer the original over the Donner cut is the ending, because Richard Donner just undoes the entire movie, and you're like, okay, so we just went through all that for nothing. The original Superman 2 actually, makes sure that ending stays there and keeps moving forward. The installments after that are very forgettable and not great. Like I said, I find Superman 4 very entertaining, as I said earlier in the list, but it's a very garbage movie. Anyway, Superman 2, my old favorite Superman movie. At number 1 is the greatest superhero movie of all time, Superman, the movie. The movie that made us believe a man can fly. I love this film. After rewatching them, like I said, I realized it was the nostalgia factor for me holding Superman 2 above this one. But rewatching them again and actually digging deep into them and looking into it and realizing this one is better by a mile. I mean, there are so much, you just get to see his character portrayed so well in this. You are missing out on the action scenes. That's why I'm also a sucker for action scenes. You don't get a whole lot of that, but you do get some other great moments of him just being a great person and saving people. And you get that amazing origin story. Like I said, the greatest superhero film of all time, because you don't have a big bad monster from outer space, or you don't have, a whole big CGI army coming at you. You just have a person with special powers genuinely trying to be a great person. And that is what I love so much about the original Superman film by Richard Donner. Well, not technically, it's not the original because they had Superman versus the Mole Men, but this film is the definitive edition of Superman and deserves this spot at number one. Anyway, if you haven't seen my Superman review, please go check it out for Superman 2025. I will be reviewing all of these movies sooner or later. I'm resurrecting my channel, I'm bringing it back. I have a Night of the Living Dead series coming up. But before you go, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Tell me your favorite Superman movie or your favorite superhero film. What do you think of my ranking? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Tell me your ranking, and have a great night, or great day, or great morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Goodbye, everybody.